Well, hello. Welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed, the television edition. It is, whoops, a little echo there. It is May 16th, 2012. Coming to you from the QCE News studio. Glenn, which studio is this? Is this Studio F? There you are. Studio F. I wanted to make sure. I wanted to get confirmation on that. I like that. I like that it's Studio F. Sounds dirty. But we got to keep it clean because it's too early. The kids might still be up. And actually, you should let your children watch this show because they might learn something. That sounds horribly arrogant. I apologize. I just, what can I say? I'm all hyped up. I got this energy drink. If you haven't seen these, and maybe I shouldn't do this because it's not like we're getting sponsorship money from them, but these Moxie energy drinks, they don't actually taste like Moxie because Moxie's disgusting. But the energy drinks actually taste like fruit punch, and this is sugar-free, no carbs, and I am a caffeine addict. It is my drug of choice. I don't do coke or heroin or anything like that, but I love the energy drinks. Glenn R.J. Willett, I think, is going to be sitting down in a moment to join us. Also, Chris Rose and Dan Randlett from our Sunday night program, Verbal Ejaculation, will be here any minute as well. We have lots to talk about. Something happened here in the New Hampshire state legislature that has made national news. Steve Valencourt. International news, really? They're talking about it all the way in Zimbabwe.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm just guessing. When you say international, I think of Zimbabwe.
When it hits CNN and places like that, they have international. It goes everywhere.
Yes. Oh, they're here. Would you mind letting them in, or maybe you could have Jimmy let them in? So we'll have a nice full house. So Dan and Chris are here, and they'll be down in a moment. So very exciting. If in case you haven't heard, and some people who are fans and friends of IPMNation.com may be familiar with Steve Valencourt. His name comes up from time to time. Steve Valencourt is a New Hampshire state legislator, a Republican who is a very colorful guy, very interesting gentleman. He hosts a television program on TV23 here in Manchester called Steve's Liberty Express. Very kind of controversial guy. The Amsterdam guys hate him. They've been feuding with him forever. He did something very controversial on the floor of the New Hampshire State House.
Your guests have arrived.
They have arrived. Here to make a grand entrance.
Hi there.
Better late than never. Welcome, gentlemen.
Better late than never.
Chris Rose, of course, who's been on the show many times, and Dan Randlett. This is Dan's first time on the television edition of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and of course, Glenn R.J. Willett. I have that on pause because.
Did you?
Oh, you know what? I could unpause it and just turn down the volume on it. I have Skype turned up. If anyone wants to Skype with us, feel free. IPM Nation is the Skype ID. Why am I hearing that, even though I turned that down?
Just hit the button, actually, and that'll mute it.
Oh, I'm sorry. That'll mute it, yes.
There you go.
There we go. All right. So welcome, gentlemen.
Wow.
Welcome.
It feels like a VE reunion.
Brought to you by Canada Dry.
It's because of you, Glenn.
It must be the heat of Steve Valencourt, huh?
Steve Valencourt,
Oh,
yes.
we're going to talk about it because it
Yes.
is now national news.
Yes.
International.
It was
International.
it was on Rachel Maddow. It was
It's on CNN.
Oh, he's a.
Did Fox do anything about it, or no?
I'm not sure.
Did they shelve it?
It's a Republican. Steve Valencourt is a
saying.
Republican, so I doubt that Fox will be covering this.
No.
But all right, who wants to explain? I'll let someone else. You're my guest. So who wants to tell the
Chris
story?
has been talking about it since.
All right, Chris,
it happened,
you can tell the story.
Oh wait, sorry.
'Cause
I shouldn't do that.
Are you in school?
I happen to be a supporter. As we all know.
Is right.
We had some fun with it earlier on Norman Friends. We played the video and whatnot. We don't have that ready here, but go ahead, Chris.
We'll have it Friday.
Tell our friends in Zimbabwe, because this is an international story.
So we have a Republican representative in the New Hampshire House named Steve Valencourt, who is, well, he's well known around Manchester because he had his own live television show on our local cable access.
He's well known statewide.
And he's well known statewide. The Speaker of the House, William O'Brien, yes, is his name, was going through some of the, basically I think some of the rules and things that were coming up that Mr. Valencourt did not agree with. Apparently there were some tough restrictions that were coming up that the speaker was discussing. And at the point where the speaker had finished speaking, Mr. Valencourt responded with Sieg Heil, which means victory in German, but is more commonly
Using a racial.
Well,
it's more commonly remembered as the victory march or the victory cheer of the Nazi Party.
Now, just to clarify what was happening in this moment, O'Brien was trying to limit what Valancourt was talking about.
Well, not just him, the whole house.
Yes, there was
I think it was he was making limits
new
to the
rules, yeah.
yes to the whole house.
and this
Quite the
frustrated Valancourt very
Yes.
much.
So he was kind of
Yes.
making that reference of it. And I actually got a text message from Mr. Valancourt.
Yes.
He's showing what he got if I can bring it to the camera.
Bring it to the camera.
Oh, just
But,
yeah.
but this is what he
Or
actually.
Glenn will zoom in on it.
This is what he's sending out for Christmas this year to everybody.
Yes.
You can actually see that.
But I think I broke a few laws driving
A nice
over.
young child. I don't know if this is his daughter.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Isn't that
Yes,
sweet? But this is the new Christmas toy that he is going to be sending out to everybody, and
very nice.
you know,
Does
so,
he have a daughter? I believe he's openly gay.
You know,
It must be a niece. Or
I think it might have been his
yes.
niece.
I have
Yes.
asked
But,
Dan that if he does procure such a doll, that he is to
But-
get 2 of them, one for me, one
Yes.
for him.
Yes,
But I guess if you're on his
He is
Christmas
openly
list,
gay?
I believe so.
Steve Valancourt?
Yes.
I know he walks like he has a huge stick
well,
up
is he
his
a log
ass.
cabin
Yes.
Republican?
Come on, guys.
Does he what? Does
Oh,
he
no.
walk like
No,
a?
I said
I
is he
have
a
no shame
log
about
cabin
that.
Republican? Is he
Oh,
one of those?
And
Oh,
he
perhaps?
literally
Yes.
walks like he has a huge stick up his ass. I've seen him leave
But,
TV23, and it's like he's holding a cherry pit, trying to drop it into a glass.
But from what I understand, he is
Yeah.
sending those out to his constituents.
Mhm.
He's sending those out for Christmas to all his family members and supporters. You will see those.
Did you guys see the apology?
No, I didn't.
Well,
no, I
how
know
many
that
apologies?
there was
Oh.
3
Until they
apologies.
finally accepted one.
Yes, yes. All dripping with sarcasm.
I'm so sorry.
Yes, it's actually very funny. I suggest everyone after this show make sure you go online and find the video of Steve Valancourt apologizing for his outburst, and he sarcastically apologized for using inflammatory German words, and he actually offered a series of other German words that he also will not use
Really?
in the future during the first apology. It was actually kind of funny. I became a little bit of a fan at that moment.
Now, does this mean he's not going to be able to be doing the theme to the Manchester football games anymore? Now, I understood for all the televised football games, he did the theme song. Now,
Oh,
have they-
yes, yes.
Has TV23 fired him from doing the
I
theme song
don't
to the?
think so.
you-
What is the theme song? I'm sorry.
No.
Like he used to do the Monday Night Football for the TV23.
Oh, yes.
or-
Yes,
They,
yes.
They didn't fire him from
I
that.
really don't
Are
think
you
so.
ready
You
for
know.
some Nazis? Oh,
I
Steve
will say
Valancourt.
that he has not decided if he's going to rerun again this year. He's thinking about it, but he's also considering staying out. But this may very well push that button to have him to run because he really dislikes the Speaker of the House.
Apparently.
Now, I don't know if this is true, but this is the first time in, I thought I saw about 4 decades that somebody has been asked to leave the New Hampshire.
Oh, and we left that part of the story out too. Yes, he was. So O'Brien then declared that he be removed, and then the state troopers or whoever it is
Guards, whatever.
had to-
Yeah.
Forcibly removed him.
This did, by the way, as it filtered through the national media, the story did get twisted a little bit. He did not, for anyone who hasn't seen the video yet, he did not actually do the Nazi salute. I did see some news media outlets initially reporting that he did
That he
the
was.
actual salute. He did not. He simply said Sieg Heil.
Yes, there was no Nazi salute. As far as we know, there was no Nazi salute.
We didn't
Right.
see any
Just the,
anyway.
Right.
the victory chant of the Nazis.
Yes, yes.
And he has just written a story on New Hampshire Insider, and I got a copy of it. And
Now, is that the same program as New Hampshire Insider, just with a slightly
It's
different
New
name?
Hampshire
It's a
Insider.
different
New
one.
Hampshire
It's the
Insider.
Canadian.
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, yes,
He's calling it.
Don't know what you're talking about.
You're funny.
I like how Glenn said, "You're funny."
You son of a bitch.
You're
Let me finish my
the-
statement.
You're a
Rated
funny
T.
guy.
He's calling it E-gate or something like that. What happens is the
Son of a
House Speaker gets funds for his expenses as Speaker.
William O'Brien.
Yes,
In this
and
case.
according to the story, he sent one of his aides to recruit Republicans, and he's paying him for it. Well, I have to admit, if that's a true story, that shouldn't be part of the Speaker's budget to recruit other Republicans. That's not a New Hampshire thing. That's a party thing. So we'll have to wait and see what the real news is on that. We've already. I'm anxious to see how Bill O'Brien actually responds to that. He hasn't responded.
So Bill O'Brien is corrupt.
Well, I'm not saying that, but
Breaking news here
Breaking
on
news.
Matt Connarton Unleashed.
It's corrupt.
From the
Corruption,
Manchester City
understand.
selectman, Glenn R.J. Willett,
if
Bill
it's
O'Brien is
if it's true, it's not right.
This is alleged.
Right, I
This is
agree.
It's
alleged.
alleged.
Alleged, yes.
Allegedly.
We don't want to be
Yeah.
sued.
So
Yes.
that we're just saying if it's true, it's very suspicious. I mean, you wouldn't be if a Democrat did that, the Republicans would be all over them,
Of course,
and
yes.
vice versa.
Yes.
It's just not something that should be done.
Yes.
A House Speaker's job is not to send their staff to recruit party people.
Yes.
I mean, that's not their job.
By the way, I'd like to say hi to Paxton88 in the chat room, who is
Hi,
joining us.
Paxton 88.
Paxton 88.
Paxton
Yes.
88's in the chat.
Paxton88 is actually in the chat room.
chat.
So
You just missed John
welcome.
Warner.
That's Miss Sue. By the way, we had some breaking news on Norm and Friends. Did you guys know that Frank Ginta is apparently gay, according to Norm?
Frank Ginta.
Oh,
Was this a
well.
psychic prediction?
I
No,
couldn't
yeah.
ask that.
He's come out. He's come out, according to Norm.
He came out
That's news to me.
psychically, or he came out to Norm.
It must be psychically because it's news
Yes.
to me.
Yeah, so he seems like a very manly
And
man.
Wait a minute.
but-
Glenn would know
Glenn
all the
knows
fruits.
Yeah.
Oh, I
all
would
the
know that,
gays,
but
all
he
the
doesn't.
politicians.
He does.
He is married, which means nothing. And he has
Right.
two
Yes.
children.
It's
that
a beard.
means nothing either. But from what I know of Frank Ginta, no, he doesn't fool around that way.
Is this verbal ejaculation presents Matt Connarton
I
Unleashed tonight?
think.
Well, we don't want to go. We don't want to get too far into the weeds. It's early. The children may be watching.
Oh,
That's
yes,
true. This
yes.
is.
But,
this is
It's on a
early
Sunday
hour.
night when they go to bed.
Now, I will share it with you. For like I said, we did talk about this on Rock Paper Hand Grenades a bit, and Gary Hopper, my co-host on Rock Paper Hand Grenades, the Honorable Gary S. Hopper, who has been on this show, and I keep trying to pull him back in.
I do love him.
Yes, he's a lot of fun. He's a great
Not
Is he
guy.
a
that
hopper,
way.
by the way?
Not
I
in
do
that
not-
way.
I was
Is
gonna
he a
say,
hopper?
Is he a hopper?
Yes,
Is
he
he that
dresses
Hopper?
up as a bunny on Easter. I wasn't supposed to tell people that. That's a secret. I apologize, Gary, if you're watching. But Gary said on the show that he was talking about Steve Valancourt and how much Valancourt hurts himself politically by being such a prick, for lack of a better word, because no one likes the guy. And sometimes people end up voting against Valancourt where they might otherwise agree with him ideologically because he has no friends, because Valancourt has no social skills, because literally no one likes the guy.
And are you guys aware that Steve Valancourt is a Republican because by choice he doesn't have any other choice, but he's really a libertarian.
Well, that's what Gary was saying.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
really a true
I'm
libertarian.
curious as to what do you mean by choice?
choice,
That
well,
he has
no
no
other
other
choice.
choice.
There was a time in
Because
New
as an
Hampshire.
independent,
there
we
was-
can choose.
There
if
was a
we
time in
wanna-
New Hampshire the Libertarian Party had enough. They had at least 5% that voted for the governorship at one year in the late 90s. That they became a legitimate party in New Hampshire. And the following 2 years, when they reelected the governor, they didn't have that percentage that they need, and so they're no longer a party. So he was a libertarian at one time, and I know that knowing him myself, I know that he still would be. But because it's no longer a choice in New Hampshire, you got to be a Democrat or independent
Republican.
or
Republican.
Republican.
So it's sort of like the Libertarian Party was absorbed by the Republican Party.
Actually, 80% of the libertarians in New Hampshire that are in the House and Senate are Republicans, and maybe 10% are Democrats.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say, the way Gary described him to me, and this was actually after the show, we were kind of talking about Steve. Gary said that Steve is a libertarian, in reality, but he's a Republican, but he's socially liberal. So he's kind of all over the place.
Well, one of the things that he said was, how dare people call me anti-Semitic? I'm pro-Semitic. I'm
Mhm.
pro-gay. I'm pro all minorities.
Well,
Yes.
he spent 3 years in Germany, and he
Yes.
visited there many times. He shows a lot of film on festivals and the history of German.
those
Was he,
the films?
was he one of the chosen?
those films?
Was he,
Those type of films was he showing, Glenn? Were you at one of those parties?
No,
Were you at
I've
one
never
of
been to
those?
Germany. So
No, I'm saying at his house.
Oh,
One of
no,
his
I've
little
never
private
been.
was he
parties
ever
that
part
he
of a
has.
race,
I don't
possibly
know.
a
I've never been to
master
his house.
race,
I have no idea.
the fatherland?
Now, Glenn, well, let me get your take because, Gary gave us his take earlier on Rock, Paper, Hand Grenades. What's your take on Steve Valancourt? You know him. Is he a jerk? Or is he just misunderstood?
Well,
Is he a lost soul?
I wouldn't say he's a lost soul, but we can all be jerks at times. He has strong
No,
beliefs.
not me. I'm
Every-
always nice.
he
Every
has
Sunday night at
extremely-
9:30.
He has extremely
Yes.
strong beliefs, and not only are they strong, but he also believes in expressing himself. And it is a right; a constitution allows it, but you have to be careful, especially when you represent the public.
Mhm.
And sometimes, other politicians have done it too. He's not the only one. Like you said, the first time in 30 or 40 years since they threw somebody out, so it's happened before. But the House Speaker did close sometimes this winter, did close the doors and wouldn't let people in and out until the certain votes were done. And that's a little totalitarian. So he's trying to say that he's a dictator. And it's
Wasn't
not
that similar though to Wisconsin, where the governor was voting against the unions?
And Bill
New
O'Reilly.
Hampshire was-
Bill O'Reilly.
He's looking out for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bill O'Brien is a very conservative man. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, but
Right.
he is a very conservative.
So we have something similar here
So
in New
it
Hampshire,
is-
where the teachers' unions
Yes.
were outside
Yes.
and did not want to make some decisions
Yes.
public. I understand.
Well, it wasn't only that. He also would not release any House members to go out until the vote was done. He was in command.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a little bit strong.
What I want to know though,
That was a
Glenn,
little Hitlerish.
what I want to know, yes, see Kyle is
Kyle.
what we could say to Bill
You know
O'Brien
what
if
they
he were
say?
here.
There's two sides to every story. So I'd like to see Bill. Actually, Bill O'Brien did respond to MUR, and we should get that clip because he did make and he made a pretty much sarcastic remark about Steve.
Did he?
You know, it's regular Steve, and you know.
I will say Bill O'Brien does have a nice beard, very very well kept beard.
What's her
Just got
name?
that going for him.
What's her name?
What's her name? I don't know. We'll have to research that. No, what I wanted to know though, Glenn, was on an interpersonal level.
Steve and I really don't get along. We tolerate each other when we're in public, but we're not really friends. He'll talk to me. He'll send us a lot of opinions, and he's very good at numbers when it comes to the elections.
Yeah, Gary was saying he
He's
really knows
predicting-
his stuff.
He really knows his stuff. Yes.
He's written editorials for Queen City Examiner. Has
Yes.
he?
Oh,
He
okay.
still does. He just sent
Okay.
me another one, so he still does.
I thought I saw his
And-
name in one of the.
Yes, he
older
actually gets a full
editions.
page every month. He's really good at what he does, and so you know we all have our faults, our weaknesses, and our strengths. And I'm not going to criticize anyone who writes articles. It's his right, and it's somebody else to prove him wrong. And then if they prove him wrong, then we'll print the other side.
Mhm.
But Steve is a very intelligent young man, by the way. He's not that
Yeah,
young, but he's very intelligent.
that's what Gary was
He's a
saying.
very
Smart as
intelligent-
hell. Gary
yes,
says he
yes.
is extremely intelligent
He knows his
and
history.
knows his stuff. Just
he knows his history.
just has no
His
social
American
Just has,
skills.
history.
he has a poor choice to use history and.
Yeah.
Was
Yes.
he just trying to be sarcastic though? Was he just trying to use humor in that sense?
He
I haven't
probably-
seen the. I mean, was he just trying to be like
He
this guy's
probably
being
was.
a dick? He is being kind of
Oh, I think that's-
totalitarian,
yeah, I mean,
and maybe he
yeah.
was just. It was like wrong timing, wrong type of like.
Wrong word.
Maybe
Oh,
wrong
sure.
word. Well, I wouldn't say
Choice
wrong
of
words
words,
or
choice
wrong
of
choice of
words.
words because I think we're all too sensitive nowadays. But I mean, it just I think he was trying to be sarcastic, and it comes off because you can't say things that are Hitler related because
Right.
they're
You know
so
what?
passe
But you
and-
can say that it's
but
kind of
in that-
refreshing.
In
that
that
someone-
situation, if
Mm.
we were put in that situation, I would probably think in my mind, this is probably a bad idea, but I don't give a shit. I'm gonna say it and I'm
Yeah.
gonna own it. They want me out. They want me out. I'll
Yeah.
say, see, Kyle, because you are being totalitarian.
Mhm.
You're being a dictator.
Yes.
You're putting on all these restrictions on the House now. So in some sense, I can understand it, but
And in that sense, though, it's refreshing that in New Hampshire, in the House and Senate, we tolerate a lot more freedom than they do,
Mhm.
like for example, in the Congress.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, the Congress, you wouldn't have been able to come in unless you had a written apology.
You can carry a gun in the New Hampshire House.
Yes, you can. Very few houses that can do that.
Yes.
Yes.
so I just
Well,
got
we all
breaking
live for
news
your
from
die.
WMUR. Arrest made in 2001 cold case slaying.
Really?
Finally.
11 years later,
Yeah, well, that's good.
Better late than never.
Mhm.
better late than never.
So that's all right.
My apologies.
So I really don't want to criticize Steve, or Brian. I think it's between the two of them, and they need to iron it out. It's too bad that it comes to that. You know, they're supposed to represent the people. They should act as adults,
Mhm.
and if they have a problem with each other, they should meet and have an open door and talk about it, or go through a third party, but not do this in public. This doesn't look good for the state of New Hampshire.
Now let me ask you this, Glenn, because you know Steve. The other interesting thing that Gary said was that, and actually Norm had said this too because Norm knows him, is that Steve probably really is loving all of this
Oh, he is.
because he loves attention.
He loves drama.
Yes, and that
So he actually probably chose the appropriate thing to say in this situation to garner that type
Yes.
of
Mhm.
publicity.
You have to realize that Steve Valancourt is very opinionated, and
Oh,
he
yes.
strong believes, and he believes in expressing his opinions. And so he was actually being Steve. I would, if it would have been someone, a house member who did that was very quiet, I would have been amazed. But to hear from Steve, the people who know Steve are not amazed.
Right.
They understand that that's Steve.
Yeah.
When he gets
I could also understand that maybe had he had, and this is from experience of watching him on TV23, and I have caught a few episodes. I've seen him in person. If he had shown any glimmer of actually having a sense of humor, that it's just Steve making a little joke, maybe it wouldn't have been.
Smile.
But he
when they picked him up.
Yeah, but it was a.
Did you see that smirk as he turned around to the cameras?
It wasn't.
So,
I don't want to use the term, but it was kind of a prickish smile.
But, well, he knew then what he had done. There's no question. He's in a doubt.
Yeah.
It's like any celebrity that we chastise because of anti-Semitism, like Mel Gibson, but there are people out there that makes mistakes all the time. Alec Baldwin makes mistakes. Charlie Sheen makes mistakes. It's also a personality thing. If you have a good personality and you think it's funny and you own it, then say something stupid or say something like clever, like "Oh, Captain, my Captain." Just be kind of like snotty and.
But again, Chris,
yes, sir.
What he said, what exactly does it mean?
It's not being anti-Semitic, though. It's not being anti-Semitic.
So what does it mean in English?
Right.
It's not anti-Semitic. It means victory.
Or
hail
how
victory.
People have a perspective on what he said. They understand what he said because he was saying it in maybe in a derogatory statement because he was upset with O'Brien what he was doing.
Right.
And he maybe had some right to what he did because O'Brien did go a little overboard. So you have to have both ends.
But what would have happened if he would have said yes, Massa? Yes, Massa, I'll get right to it, Massa.
Yeah.
It would be more controversial.
Oh, yes,
because that's really hitting it home.
Yes.
I mean, he could have said something like that. He could have been like, yes, Massa, we'll get right to it, Massa.
I mean,
he could have done that, and it would have been even on more news channels. I mean, he would have been, asked to have been taken out forever.
Al Sharpton would have loved it.
We would have made it, and I mean, it's just, I think it's just, words are hurting too much, and it's just, they were just words, and those words weren't even, like, he weren't saying it wasn't like it was a Jewish, like, O'Brien's not Jewish, and it wasn't like he was saying to him, you filthy stinking Jew.
Right.
Like, he was basically, I think he was trying to be funny. He's smart. He's an intelligent guy.
Right.
He doesn't have a sense of humor, like we've established, but he's an intelligent guy. I think he was making this like as a calculated, like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he knows that he's getting this type of FaceTime now. He knows he's getting this attention. Maybe he wasn't thinking in that fleeting moment. He was getting pissed off. He was getting worked up, and maybe he was just thinking, all right, I'm going to come up with a snarky remark and say, say Heil.
Right.
Because I would have said something like that if I'm sitting in a boardroom, if I'm sitting in like a business meeting and I feel like I'm being run by somebody who's running like that type of thing. I'm going to use that type of thing too. I use the term in my workplace. I say to my fellow coworkers, I use the term Nazis all the time. I'll say the Nazis upstairs do this, the Nazis do that, because that's what's happening nowadays.
That's the least offensive thing that.
That is. But what I'm saying though, that doesn't offend anybody around me because there's nobody sitting there thinking, oh my God, the Holocaust. He said the word Nazi.
Right.
Oh my God, and it's like everybody's too sensitive, and I think it's just, I don't think his words were hurtful words. I don't think we're making a big deal out of it.
What's the cliche? Stick and bones don't hurt.
Sticks and stones may break your bones.
I think
but the Queen City Examiner
hurts everybody.
There you go.
The connotation certainly was when he evoked that was this was the victory chant of the Nazis. Right now, the House is being treated like an oppressed people, and there's our dictator. And anybody who heard it, it evoked the memory of Hitler standing at the podium and the Nazis saying "Sieg Heil."
But there clearly was nothing anti-Semitic.
No, he could have been like, why didn't you just march us in the oven?
I mean,
he could have said something like that.
It's really not
this
that
is where
offensive.
liberals really piss me off because they start saying things like, "Oh, he's anti-Semitic." No, don't jump to that first, okay?
Right.
He could have said, "Ja, Volt, mein Führer."
But even some of his Republican brothers and sisters were pretty critical. But you
yeah.
realize what he said.
Gary is very upset.
Was it an emotional time because he was angry? And also is if you look at it today, and now we know exactly what it means in English. It wasn't really that offensive, was it?
No.
He was trying to express himself. He just could have chosen better words.
Right.
It's what we first, and it's what
Right.
we first imagine when we hear
right.
that.
That's right.
It's all of the films of the 1940s.
But I say let freedom ring.
Yep. Let Sieg Heil ring.
No, I don't mean that.
No, but it's
I was
amendment.
I was in front of the automatic board on last night, and my first word out of my mouth was "good button," which means good evening. And the reason why I said that, I spoke in 3 languages like that, English, French, and German, because they're getting rid of the German language in the schools and Latin.
Well, they should.
And do you know that out of all
Isn't
the
Latin
languages
dead?
that we have in our schools, in our high schools, we only have one exchange program. It's been there for 20 years, and it happens to be in German. We have very good relations with the German. Now, in the economic of the euro in Europe, they are the strongest.
Yes,
So-
that is true.
So if you're
In terms of the
we
European
do
Union.
live in a global economic world, and when you're looking for, and I'm not answering that, and when you're looking
It's
for,
Steve calling
what
right
if
now,
it's the
defending
next
himself.
when you're looking for jobs
We
to
gotta
be
get him on
created
the
in New
show.
Hampshire to sell abroad, we have a lot of kids that
What,
speak
white,
German.
white women slavery? You're talking about selling broads?
You want to sell abroad?
I-
This is
selling
scandalous.
broads?
Say it again.
Scandalous.
Scandalous.
moves on
My,
Matt Carter.
my English is not
Wow.
that bad.
I'm gonna skip
When you
that
want to
sale.
sell product abroad,
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
Dan
my goodness.
abroad.
Oh, wow.
you
Wow.
need to have someone represent you in that nation
Yes.
that speaks that language.
Of course
So
you
it's
do.
not a bad thing. It's not a bad
it's
thing
not.
at all.
Right.
I think they should
So-
bring Aramaic back to schools.
Do you know that they had an economic meeting at the city about 3 weeks ago, and they were saying that the manufacturer in this city that wants to expand a plant that does machinery,
Mhm.
and he wants to take his Laconia plant and
Mhm.
while he's expanding, puts it all into one plant here in Manchester.
Mhm.
Guess why he's not coming?
Why?
The skills aren't there.
Is it because it's
We're
Rockwell
not
Automation?
teaching our
Is that
kids to be mechanics,
closed?
Right.
to be mechanics or be
Who wants to be
machinists.
mechanics anymore? Who wants to be machinists anymore? They don't
Me-
want to. I'm saying the kids don't want to be
Mechanics
those
get
anymore.
paid lots of
No, but the kids don't want to
Well,
do that
but
anymore
look what-
because they're being taught.
Actually,
You
I-
don't want that type of filthy job. You don't want to do that. That's the problem with
Well,
society now.
but-
We're an elitist society.
But who's
Yeah.
teaching them that?
The teachers,
Okay.
Yeah, but now we have all
their
the
parents,
there is now a movement
Society.
though.
yeah,
teaching them.
society,
Society.
Paris Hilton,
But there does seem
Mel Gibson,
there does seem to be a
Any
movement.
Kardashian. Any
Kardashians,
Kardashian. Now, I
Target.
made a small joke about Rockwell Automation because they were machinists,
Oh.
and that is now occupied by Market Basket.
Oh,
Market
okay.
Basket took over the building, and
Yeah.
that was the first thing I thought of. But at the same time, we lost Rockwell Automation because all of the jobs went out to Mexico. The facility is now
Yes.
out of Mexico. So yeah, you're right. We don't want these jobs.
No.
I was gonna say though, actually, there does seem to be a movement on the right to sort of, and we saw this with Santorum quite a bit, to sort of demonize college, and to
Yeah.
and to sort of
You're a
encourage
snob
people
'cause you
to
go to college.
right, don't go to college.
No.
You know, go to a trade school if you're going to do higher education,
Yeah.
because if you go to college, college
They'll
is
teach you liberal arts. They'll
Right.
Teach you,
Not
they'll teach you
conservative.
liberal things and not conservative
Yes.
arts. And they'll teach you how to be gay.
yes,
If you go to
yes.
college, because Santorum was trying to tell people, if you go to college, do you know how many people experimentate with the homosexuality and lesbianism in college? That's what Santorum was worried about. He
Yes,
didn't
yes.
want kids to go to school and go, well, I'm a young woman. I've never tasted pussy. They didn't want to have that. They didn't want a guy to go, I'm in college. This is the only time that I could actually
Wow.
suck a cock and actually say, hey, I'm in college. This is the 8 o'clock hour. I shouldn't be talking about
I
that.
did experiment.
But that's what
in
we're talking about. Like
heterosexuality.
Santorum was afraid.
Yeah.
That's why and I'm pro homeschooling. I'm not against
Are you?
homeschooling, but
and homeschooling.
well, my nephews were homeschooled. A lot of people that I know were homeschooled. I'm not saying let's eliminate public school and go 100%
Right.
homeschooling. I'm a supporter of homeschooling. I think homeschooling can
too.
work in a proper form because I think
Yes.
public school has gone down
with
the toilet.
regulations from the
Because-
state.
And I'm going to be very. I don't know if this is a liberal statement. I don't think we pay
How
some
dare
of
you.
our teachers enough money.
No.
I don't think we do.
No.
That's a liberal.
I
That is a
don't-
liberal statement,
you're a
Dan.
I don't-
conservative?
I'm a conservative. I
What
don't think because I think some teachers out there, and I think some teachers out there are horrendous teachers because they don't have the passion, or they're actually because they don't pay enough money.
Mhm.
They're getting these subpar teachers that don't give a shit. And
Right.
you go to school and you have these teachers that are just kind of like, oh, here's the curriculum. This is all a bunch of bullshit because I'm not going to teach it to you because I'm making less than the guy over at McDonald's who just
Right.
gave you my fries. So you guys go and do your crack cocaine in the corner. And I don't want you to be a machinist though, because Kim Kardashian says you can't go work at a machine shop. But it's just, I just think that at a homeschool level, putting it back in the parents' hands to some extent, you can actually make your children learn. You can actually, and if you put a little bit more, because there are some
And
issues.
you can give them
But I'm not saying,
you can
I'm
give
not saying
them
everybody needs to be homeschooled.
both sides of the coin as well.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, is you don't
I-
have to teach from a textbook. You can
No.
say,
That's right.
here's two science. Here's
Yeah.
religion. Here's science.
Yeah, here's
I'm going to teach
creation,
them both
here's
of them.
evolution.
Creationism versus
Yeah,
evolution.
you should learn both. You learn the science and the. But you don't have to be homeschooled and be religious either.
No,
you
no.
don't have. It's
No.
not all about being Christian.
I just
It's not
happen to
all
use
about
that as an
being-
example. Like,
But the other problem with homeschooling is the social interaction.
Right,
That's
and
the other
I've known-
problem. You need to.
Yeah.
What you need to do with homeschooling is you need to have multiple, like, why not go to a home and have multiple children in, like, one home that there's one person in that home that specializes in sciences. So you have more than one or two kids in that home.
now you're
And then
going
you
back
go
to
to
school.
No, but you're doing it in a
It's like
homeschool atmosphere,
You have one person
though.
who teaches
But
this
but
to
you
an
can
entire
do that.
class.
I'm talking about these
of
cults
kids.
that do it. I'm talking about
Right,
the
right.
Santorum cult. You know,
Yeah.
I'm talking about if you do it that way.
Because I do have
But-
a concern with homeschooling because now your nephews are an obvious exception to this, but
Because
I
they're very sociable.
right, but I've known a
guys.
lot of
That was Sam.
homeschooled people.
Sam is looking
Sam.
for you. You know,
Chris has a bit of a crush.
he's
on
got a
her.
man crush on
Definitely.
my soon-to-be 20-year-old nephew.
But
who would have been here tonight with me going to see Godsmack, but I canceled going to see Godsmack tonight to be on Matt Connarton Unleashed.
yes, you
I
made the
wanted-
right decision.
I made the right decision because I decided instead of going to a rock and roll show, I'd rather
Yes.
spend my evening.
I think the question should
What's
be,
more rock and roll than Matt
Matt
Connarton
Connarton
Unleashed?
I think the question should be asked is that, especially with like Santorum, do we want candidates that are going to rewrite the American history and say, well, we're not going to have public school, we're not going to have charters, we're not going to have college, all we're going to have is homeschooling. What happened to the America that we were raised? I'm in favor of charters and homeschooling. Let's have the variety. Let the parents
Let
have a
people choose
choice.
and make that choice. Yeah.
That's what our freedom is all about.
Mhm.
And I see in this day and age, we have too many politicians that are dictating how they're going to run our government, and that's not the kind of person that I want
That's
to
what I
vote
was
for.
telling you.
I think this just went black.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if that means anything.
It means that I need to go push the
What's
button.
because-
Actually, it may just mean I need to refresh because I know sometimes I have to. Oh, okay, no, I just have to reset the internet connection here.
Oh,
That's
the
all it
internet
is.
You do because I'm fine in the control room.
It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
So
I-
we're still
I-
broadcasting.
This is still like
We're still
3 minutes
broadcasting.
behind
okay,
on
we're
this.
good. Yeah, I've known people who are homeschooled who are just really socially
social
inept.
outcast, right?
Yeah,
It's
because
not-
they haven't experienced the Shark Tank that
No.
is high school, and aren't prepared for. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I played in a band with a drummer who was homeschooled and just was such a mama's boy and
Mhm.
just.
Yeah. I
I've
also-
Was it
known-
the Jinxed? Was it the Jinxed?
No, it was My Life Crisis.
Oh,
We had a
okay.
drummer named Andrew who I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. I hated the
Yeah.
kid,
Oh,
and
my God.
there's very few people I would say that about, but I just could not
But
stand.
I know people like you're talking about. There are homeschooled kids that are so cut off from reality, and cut off
Yeah.
from social interaction with the actual people. Now, in the case of my nephews, they did go to public school for a brief period of time.
Yeah.
They did go out. But even in their case, because they were sociable, they weren't secluded. They weren't overprotected. They weren't in a home environment where it's like, okay, you're only going to learn this, and you're not allowed to interact with other people outside your religious sect. You're not, because I mean, you know my brother, you know my family. So
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like, I mean, we've known
There are
each
a
other
lot
so
of
long.
parents-
they're not that way, but there
Right.
are parents out there that are like that
Oh, yeah.
homeschool, and it gives homeschooling a bad name
Yes.
because the majority is like that.
Yes. Yes.
There are also a lot of parents that will homeschool their kids until high school.
Yeah.
Now, I'll agree with you that if parents homeschool their kids till they graduate from high school
Mhm.
and then go to college, they could have problems.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
they go to college and they're reclusive, like
Mhm.
seclusive,
Yeah.
introvert like children that go to college, and then that's when they become homosexuals
Mhm.
because they don't know more to do.
Yeah.
They become
Or-
the experimental.
Well, that's when they get
children.
into drugs and alcohol.
I was
and
gonna say
stuff.
they're
I've never
exposed
had
to
it.
other
Yeah,
elements that
and
they've never
and
been
the
exposed
parents
to.
aren't there to
deal with
control it
They
anymore.
try to deal with it, and they go a little
Yeah.
crazy and nutty, and
Mhm.
that's and that's when Santorum's right. That's when we gotta
Yeah, but Santorum is right and he's wrong. You can't, and this is a smart guy who was educated in the colleges. You can't
Right.
say
Yeah.
that don't send your kids to liberal schools. There are conservative schools. You
They
have
are.
choices.
Well, you
there's-
can go to Oral Roberts
You can go
University.
to
I went
Liberty
to Roberts
University.
University.
That's
can
right,
go
you
to
did, didn't you?
Roberts. You go, there's Christian colleges. There's
There are
conservative
choices.
colleges. There's choices. There's so
Yeah.
many choices out there.
There's Liberty
Yeah.
Liberty,
College
Liberty
is a
University.
Christian college.
Yeah.
which Romney just spoke to. Wasn't that
Yes.
strange?
Yes, Romney going to Liberty University talking about Christianity and all this when people don't really even consider Mormons to be Christians.
Was he wearing the 3D glasses? Because I didn't see the speech. Did he have the special glasses on? Because
Did he have the
Mormons
special-
can speak at a Christian college if they're wearing, per their charter, per Mormon's charter, if they're wearing the special 3D glasses.
That was the first I hear that.
Yes, well, that's part of
It was,
that's part of Mormonism. But you have to know somebody who's a Mormon to know that secret.
It
Because
was
Ah.
So
3D
does that
it was
explain
3D
why
contacts.
he keeps
Yes.
saying that if I become president, there won't be
Internet?
No,
You're pointing at a computer.
Porn.
He's gonna
Porn.
eliminate.
No more MacBooks.
There's like-
I need this.
Porn.
No, come on, guys, educate yourselves here. When the president makes his
I
speech,
educate myself with porn.
Teleprompters?
Teleprompters.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
if he's got a 3D in his glasses, he doesn't need a teleprompter. They're
What the
already
hell is he
there.
talking? Does
what's
he even
the-
know what 3D is, Glenn? What
Yes,
are you
I know.
talking
Since you know about the 3D glasses.
I'm aware that they made glasses that you can watch TV from. I mean,
But that's not
what,
3D, Glenn. That's-
whatever you want to call it.
Since you know about the
You're
3D
going
glasses,
to tell me
what
that the
about
glasses
special
that he was
underwear?
wearing
Special
did
underwear.
not have his
That's
speech
a
on
Mormon
it? Come
thing.
on.
He was. You have to, if to be a Mormon, if you're going to speak in front of a bunch of Christians, you have to do their rituals. You have to have their special magical devices.
Well, that's
Yes.
They always wear their magical underwear.
The magic underwear, yes.
Now they have to have the special decoder
And
plates
that is true,
when they're
by the
reading
way.
the
That's-
special
That's a
books.
little
Of,
far-fetched.
The
the
magic
magic
underwear
underwear
is
is
a
a
real
true
thing.
thing. That's a
Yes.
real thing.
I will.
Wow.
I will
That
actually
is no.
vouch for
That's
that.
100% true. I actually have family members that are Mormon. I really
You do?
I really do.
Oh, I didn't realize
Magic
that.
Yes, I have a
underwear?
cousin that's a Mormon, and he's told me every
Okay.
time I see this cousin, he comes to me and he tells me
Very
that I'm
special.
all set, I'm okay because I'm in the temple. Because if
Oh,
you're a
right.
non-Mormon, and I think I've talked about this on other shows.
That's
is
right.
that-
I forgot
yeah,
about this. Yeah.
if you're a non-Mormon, you can still be saved because if you have a family member that believes in you, all they have to do is go to the temple and put your name in the temple.
Mhm.
As long as your name is in the temple, you're saved. So I'm covered by the Mormons.
Yes.
And I'm covered by the Christians.
Can you say someone
So,
has been
you're-
excommunicated?
You're double covered.
If you're excommunicated from the Mormon Church,
If someone gets excommunicated and you, as a friend or an
Mhm.
uncle or brother, wants to put his name in,
not if you're excommunicated from the Mormons.
there
No,
you go. So you can't save them all.
no, you can't. That's
They-
you've done something against their church. You
They
can't
they
do
are they are presumptuous though. There was
Yeah.
a story not long ago about them posthumously baptizing non-Mormons who had
Yes.
died.
Well, you can do that. Yes,
Ann
yeah.
Romney's father, didn't he do that?
Did he?
Didn't he?
Did she?
Yeah, you can
I
save
hate
people
that
that have
word, by
passed
the way.
away. You can do that. Yeah.
Posthumous.
Posthumously
Yeah.
baptized her father.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that. You can baptize people that have passed away and died and make them. Yeah.
I think it's sweet.
Yeah.
I don't see
it's a
the
nice
I don't see the
gesture.
problem with it. I
Yeah.
think it's nice. I think it's
No.
meaningless.
So
but
so Hitler. Let's bringing it back to what we were talking about. If you wanted
yes.
to baptize Hitler, if you loved Hitler so much and you wanted to make him a Mormon and baptize him, you could save Hitler.
I
Even
think
though
he's
he's
got
been
enough
dead.
problems as
You
it
know,
is.
Even though he's dead.
Even though he's dead, you can according to that religion. Yes.
Well, that's
Now,
good.
is-
You can
is
rehabilitate
Romney,
that
uh,
mustache.
I don't
Is it
think
Romney's
anybody would argue
father
because there's no more Hitlers left.
that came from Mexico to the States, and it was his grandfather. There's a connection in Mexico. with
I
the
think
Romneys.
his father had lived in Mexico
Somebody,
for a
yeah.
while, right?
George? Is it George?
George
Romney?
Romney, yeah.
George
I don't know if
Jorge
he-
Romney.
So was he
Roberto.
was he born in Mexico though? 'Cause
Who?
His father never ran for president. He ran for governor in 60
Yes.
Right,
Yeah,
George
yes.
Romney, yeah.
So are you trying to like cause controversies?
No,
or-
I'm just
If-
saying
if
that
Romney were to be elected, if there was the slim chance he gets elected,
that would not.
which is
He
is
was
very
born
slim,
in
but if he gets
America.
elected,
No, he's born in Kenya.
are they going to be asking for his
They're
birth
all
certificate?
wrong.
Are they
That's
going to
not what
think
I'm
he's
saying.
a filthy Mexican? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm just saying that if you're not born in this country,
Don't
the
say
law says you
don't
can't
be.
run for president.
I'm
You
sorry, a
run
little bit of the
for
Nugent was coming
That's
out
kind
for a
of-
second.
It
I'm
wouldn't
sorry.
affect
Kind
him
of
at all.
implied
He was
when you
born
say
in
Mexico.
America.
Oh, I'm
Right.
so sorry.
Now, have you heard lately that you know how they want to they want to send all the Latinos back to Mexico or wherever they came
Good
from?
idea.
You know
I'm
what?
signing up right now.
45%. There are now more people leaving America to go back.
The
to
illegals
Mexico.
you're talking about, right?
Yes,
Not the
illegal.
legal ones. I'm all for getting those.
This-
Illegal ones.
this-
There are more illegal.
This was a big story last
Yes,
week.
there are more illegal people leaving this country going back home. You know why? There are
Better
no
jobs.
jobs.
Yeah.
Our jobs suck.
Look what happened to Alabama last year. They passed a state law.
Mhm.
All the illegals had to leave. You know what happened to their apple crop?
They all died.
They all died.
Of course.
There was no American that wanted to take
Nobody
the job.
wants to pick
They
apples.
ended up
No.
they ended up hiring some African Americans and didn't really pay them a lot, so they were just picking apples for free.
A lot of them, they ruined a lot of their
and
crop.
cotton,
Yeah,
And
right.
cotton.
tobacco.
That's
yeah.
the cotton picking minute. You
Yeah.
can't say that. That's
Yeah.
racist.
That is-
Now,
See, Kyle.
But they could get Jamaicans because the Jamaicans still come over here and they work
Well,
work like crazy.
But they're
though.
foreigners.
But, yeah.
What's the difference? A foreigner's a
No,
foreigner.
but they come
Right.
over here on their work visas. I'm saying they come over here. They're not like
They're not
technically
sneaking into
illegals.
the
They're not
country.
sneaking because you
True.
can't really cross
True.
over from Jamaica. You can't
Right.
really
well,
like.
you can. They
I mean,
did-
you
they
come
do
over
it from Cuba.
They
do it
but
from
I'm saying
Cuba.
though the Jamaicans come over here
And they're laid back.
and they're
Yes,
laid
they
back
are.
and
They
but
are.
They're like, yeah, man, I'll
Yeah,
pick
man.
whatever.
Jamaicans
I'll
though,
take the
Jamaican
bumps that
people
out.
are really hardworking people in
Yes, they
between
are.
their puffs. They
Mhm.
really are hardworking people because they will work like 8 or 9 jobs.
Well, you got to be able to afford their
They'll-
weed.
Yeah, and they'll sleep like an hour a day, they'll go and work on a sod farm. They'll go and pick apples. They'll go and work like, you know, at a car place. Like they'll go and work and they'll come over here with their work visas and they'll take all those crappy jobs that we won't take. And, you know, and it's so they'll come over here and work legally.
Yes.
So, you know, there are people that will take those jobs. So if there's apple crops dying, just send the Jamaicans over.
You know what? You know what? A lot of people don't realize too is a lot of these people are being deported. There have been more illegal immigrants deported under the Obama administration
Yes, that's true.
than any other administration in history, and people don't know that, and people assume that
Obama doesn't want any competition. He wants to be.
He wants
not
to be the
head
only. He wants to be the only illegal immigrant.
Now,
So
they were
Yeah,
saying
so-
today in the news, they were saying tonight in the news that Maine is the only
HNOC.
state left out of the 61 states that doesn't have that new, that just passed a couple weeks ago for the immigrants. If you get
Arizona, is that what you're thinking?
papers,
No.
please law.
the what?
The papers, please law.
Yeah, if you get the cops, you gotta send your fingerprints to the federal government.
Yeah.
Maine has not done that yet, and the federal government is not interested. You know why?
Why?
Mexicans
Because they
don't go
only
to
have
Maine.
3% of foreign nations.
Yeah, it's like why
And
bother?
out of 806,
It's Maine.
out of 806
Their biggest problem is Canadians.
prisoners right now in New England that are illegal immigrants, only 3 are from Maine.
Mhm.
So it's not a big problem there. But you know what?
And it's
That can
cold here.
backfire. They'll all go to
Mexicans
Maine
don't
now.
come
It's safe.
Mm-hmm.
Mexicans
Well,
don't
once
wanna
they get
come here.
overrun, I mean, the local Maine people will then care if they're overrun by a bunch of, you know, dark-skinned people.
I think it's all-
Maynards will get a little annoyed.
Yeah, it doesn't have. A lot of Mexicans are light skinned. They're not all dark.
No, but they're going to be darker than your Maynard
Now you're being
fishermen.
racist.
I'm not being racist. I'm saying Mexicans, Latinos, African
They are
Americans, they're
darker.
all
How did we
darker
get
than the
there?
people in Maine. I'm saying there's a difference in color.
I don't know. In summer,
Yeah,
you can get
can't
pretty
get
dark
that
in
from
Maine
here.
in the sun.
Except for the Native Americans.
I think it's all silly. I think if you're
It is.
if you're not going to do anything about the border, then don't do anything about any of it. It's like if you're in a boat that's sinking, are you going to sit there and bail water all day, or are you going to plug the hole? If you're not going to bother to plug the hole,
Then
then
drown.
you might as well not worry about it.
You're gonna drown anyway. So.
Right. And we're never going to actually build a fence. The Republican Party will never build a fence because, I mean, we had 8 years of a Republican president. How much of that fence got built? None, as far as I know.
Are we gonna talk about his endorsement of Romney too?
Oh, we should talk about that.
Sorry.
I just want
But
to make this point though. I think the Republican Party is so fake and phony on the immigration issue because they throw out all this red meat. Oh yeah, we're going to round them up and ship them out, or we're going to build a fence. We're going to do this and we're going to do that.
It's all talk.
None of it gets done. It is all
Yeah.
It's all
talk
talk and no
because
walk.
because the people who really control the Republican Party, the corporations, the fat cat donors, they don't want that border sealed. They want the cheap labor to keep coming
Who's
in.
going to tend the lawns? Who's going
Right.
to fix
Exactly.
Romney's Country Club?
And
Who's
who the
gonna
hell
sit there and
do
keep-
you
that's the
think is
Exactly.
going to build
That's
that
the problem.
fence?
Yeah.
Who are gonna be his
Americans?
maids?
Americans aren't going to build that fence. Mexicans will.
You know what
Right.
I
And
think?
they'll want to build it with them on this side of the border.
Right.
If they
Well,
don't,
first of all, we have 11 million illegal immigrants in this country. There's no way that you're going to take 11 million people and ship them all.
No,
at one
of
time.
course not.
So you need to have a one-time amnesty. What happened about, I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s, they did that.
Oh, Reagan did it.
And-
That was,
yeah,
I think,
And what happened is they never followed through, and now we're back with the same problem.
that was
Once they did it,
that was
they should have
82.
created the laws, make them more stiffer so it doesn't happen again. But they didn't. They didn't do nothing.
Well, and they never will. Nothing's going to get done.
But-
It's all just red meat for Republican
Especially in
conservatives
elections.
who.
Well, the Democrats aren't any better in that area either, you know.
Well, but at least the Democrats are honest about it. At least you don't have Democrats running around pretending they want to round them up and throw them out when they really don't.
well, let them go for their citizenships. Let them
Yeah.
become
Oh,
citizens.
absolutely.
Let them, don't let them.
I
don't
support the
live
Dream
here.
Act.
No special treatment,
Let's
though.
not.
Let
Let's
them follow
not
the
be.
process.
I mean,
Yes.
the big deal is that we're paying for them to live here scot
Yes.
free. I mean, we don't want to be paying
Oh.
we don't want to be paying for all the illegals. We don't want to be
Yeah.
paying in our tax. Like, let's not give them anything.
Hang on, though. Hang on. I
That's
got to
not-
say
that's-
something about that.
Something.
I got to say something about that. A big part of the Republican and the conservative narrative against illegal immigrants is that they come here and they just take and take and take and don't
Well,
contribute
they're always saying
anything.
they're taking our jobs. That's what
Right.
they're always
But
saying.
here's
We
the
don't want
here's
those
the
jobs.
problem though. It's not like they come here and just take and don't contribute.
They do
You
contribute.
you cannot it is physically impossible to participate in the United States economy
Mhm.
without paying into it. You cannot participate in this economy without paying
Well, it's
taxes.
true because they're
one way or
unless
another.
you're being paid under the table.
Even then, you
But-
gotta go shop. You pay sales tax and
Well, yeah, they are. If they're they're spending their money on food. and all that.
Absolutely.
Yes, they are
Some of them buy
contributing. They are
homes and they pay
contributing.
property
Yes.
taxes.
But I'm saying
Yes.
though, if they go into a hospital or they go in somewhere
Yes.
where they don't
If they
have
have no
insurance, or
insurance.
if they have something where we need to, as part of our, if any part of our tax money is paying for a little bit of service, let's at least let them become national citizens. Let
Right.
them get their citizenship. Other people have come to this country and have gotten citizenships
Yes,
and become members of this country and
We
been,
wouldn't
been,
be here.
been allowed
Right.
to vote. Let them make decisions for this country too. Let them live here.
What I
Like
find hard.
we had people. Everybody that lives here. None of us are Native Americans. We were
Right,
all
that's
immigrants
right.
at one time.
That's right.
Right.
This country was founded by a bunch of people from other countries that came here and moved from other countries. So we shouldn't shut down the borders.
That's
let
right.
people come here, but let us all become citizens. Let them become citizens.
Right.
I agree
Don't
with
let
Dan.
them live
Give them
here.
The chance
Yeah,
to take
Yeah.
give them a
citizenship.
chance to make them take the. We all have to take a test of
So you-
some sort.
So you
Yeah,
support the
yeah.
Dream Act, I assume.
The Dream Act.
It's
Yes.
called the Dream Act.
The Dream Act. That type of, they need to rename some of
course.
these acts. You
Well,
No,
they
it's wrong with
named
that.
them.
Dream
They
Act.
named them
Act,
aptly.
the American
because-
Dream, I think sounds
I
better.
find it so hard to believe
not
there
the
was,
Dream
there
Act.
was-
That sounds like something on my iPhone. I have the Dream Act.
there was a show. There
It's
was a
like-
show this week called Conquered Planet.
Conquered Planet.
Jack, a reporter for the Union Leader, or used to be
Is
a
it
reporter.
the planet on
He creates that show, and it's a political show. And they had two people,
Wow.
one from Concord, one from Manchester, and she's Latino, but she's an American now. And she was saying that people are really
Hell with you, Salem.
not in touch with what's going on because there's no way that an illegal immigrant can get their license. Well, Obama's uncle just regarded it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, is it true that New Hampshire's laws are so stiff that
I don't know about those.
you can't
ones,
go to
but
school, you
Hampshire
can't
laws?
get medical attention, you can't get food? I know a lot of immigrants who don't even have a green card. They are illegal immigrants who get food stamps.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, there's a lot of those.
they're doing it.
Yeah.
Now here's people who are Americans like myself, 16 months without
what?
I don't have an ID because they won't give me one. I have no criminal record. I'm an
What do
American
you mean you
citizen.
can't get an ID?
They will not give me
Don't
an
know.
ID.
No.
You
I-
can't get a non-driver
That's
ID.
right. I even went to court last month and I won, and now they're appealing it.
Every single member of this state can walk in and get a non-driver ID. Do you just need the $50, Glenn? Is that
It's
all
not
you
$50,
need?
it's $10, and I have my proper
$10 for a non-driver ID?
That's all
Last
it
time
is.
I had to
That's
get
all
one,
it
it was
is.
like $50.
This is a legitimate birth certificate.
That's a state of Maine, though, you foreigner.
Well, I
Wait a minute. He's a little dark skinned. Wait a minute. He just talked about illegals from Maine. Wait a
Maine
minute.
is very white state. The whitest,
Really?
it's the whitest
Really?
state in the union. So come on, how you say I got dark skin?
Okay. So
I'm
you're
in the
saying
center line.
you're trying to get a non-driver ID here in New Hampshire. You're
It
trying to
doesn't
get
matter.
a New
The
Hampshire
problem
non-driver ID,
is
and they're refusing to let you
I
have
can
one.
no longer get services in New Hampshire
Mhm.
because I don't have an ID. The laws are now you got to have an ID, and so I took it to court in April, and I won.
Yeah.
There was no need for it, and now it went to the district court. Now they're appealing it to the superior court.
Mhm.
It's nonsense. It's all politics. So I'm
Yes.
I'm totally against
There's a hidden.
Because
thing.
the only
There's a-
person in this state who has less friends than Steve Valancourt.
Is there's something going on because that's unheard
well,
of.
there is something going on. I need to get
There's a
rid of-
homeless guy around
I-
the corner that's got a non-driver
I need
ID,
to
and he's
get
got a
rid-
worse story than you.
We
do.
need to get rid of QCE. Then these things wouldn't happen.
Well, that's what Joe Lar said. You know, Joe Lar said that to me the other day. It was last week. We were getting ready for Norman Friends, and he said it's because of that newspaper.
That's right.
Joel
Is that his real name? Joel? Is it Joel?
No,
R?
Jolar.
Joe Lar
Joe
from
Lar.
TV23.
Jolar.
L-E-R.
He's the big guy who runs everything. Wears a hat.
Oh, the one who was going to throw the kid out the window.
Yes,
Got
yes,
it,
yes.
yes.
He's actually a good guy. But
Oh, Joe's
he's
awesome.
right. That is the sticking point. Just because you're disabled doesn't mean your mind is disabled. You can still do things. They expect you because
Yeah.
when someone voices their opinion and all they tell you is the truth and you don't want to hear it, this city will do anything to get you out of here. The politics in this city are so corrupt. Actually, there's no other word.
Mhm.
There's a lot of corruption in this city.
Well, before we,
I mean, Glenn, I'm able to vote with a PO box, even though you told me I wasn't able to.
You're
I'm
not
still
supposed
able
to.
They allow me to do
No,
that,
I
and
know.
you can't get a non-driver ID.
That's
That's
right.
how corrupt
That's right.
This
Now,
state is.
remember, 18 and a half years ago, New Hampshire passed a law. The Republican Party and the Democratic Party got together,
Mhm.
and they were afraid of independents growing. They were growing too fast.
Yes.
So they made a law. If you are registered, if you're not registered either Democrat or Republican, the two major parties, you cannot count votes.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to challenge that because for 5 years I counted votes, but I was either a Republican or a Democrat.
You're
When I
independent.
became an independent, I said no more. Last year I ran for selectman.
Mhm.
In Manchester, you can run nonpartisan. I won. So I actually changed the Constitution in the state of New Hampshire. I'm the only independent person that counts votes in this state, and I didn't have to go to court.
Mm.
So there is a way out.
Yes.
If I can just find a way to get an ID.
An
now.
ID, yes.
You can have my old non.
They even
There
told
ID.
they even told the governor
That's legal.
to butt out. He
Mhm.
tried to get me the ID. Told him to butt out. None of your concern.
Well, I know a guy in a van who actually his name is Paco.
Mm-hmm.
He can get you an ID.
Is he here legally?
He's,
No,
well, he's not here legally.
Oh, yeah.
I want a legitimate
Well,
ID.
He's one of the few that is here
It's-
legally.
it
I
will
don't-
be
Helping his
legitimate.
friends.
I don't have a discriminated bone in my body. Neither a criminal. I'm just not a criminal person. So I will. I
Wow,
need-
you're missing out.
it needs to be done the right way, or I don't want one.
All right.
So that's why I'm fighting. It's my right to have an ID.
It is your right. I don't
I
know
mean,
why they work.
I'm
mean, if it's-
entitled
that's
to it,
crazy.
and before the year's over, I'm going to get one.
Revolution.
Sieg Heil.
Sieg Heil.
Oh no.
Sieg Heil to that.
Oh, you guys are gonna have to.
I wouldn't.
I
go
want to
to-
formally apologize
I
on
wouldn't go
behalf
to that
of
extent.
any Nazis that I've offended from being
The views
having
and
no
opinions,
German
so.
in me at all.
That'll get you an
Like
ID,
like
right? If you
Sieg
walk in there and go
So-
see Guile.
So what do you think would happen in France this past month? They elected the first socialist president in what 25, 30 years? In 24 years.
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
Is
That's
it good?
for them. Great for them.
Everyone can share toilet paper.
Those
I'm not
filthy-
really sure what
those
socialism
filthy
is, to be
Frenchmen.
honest.
They were just jealous because the former president had that hot supermodel wife,
Yes,
and that was
yes.
what it was.
Is
And
that
they
what
were-
you think it is?
That's what it was.
Well, I want
Because she
to.
was off showing her boobs everywhere.
Chris,
Oh, come on.
Chris brought
She
up
was.
something a few minutes ago. We only have 7 minutes left.
Oh yes.
the
Glad you're keeping
endorsement.
time.
What's that?
I'm glad you're keeping time.
Yes.
The newest endorsement with a pithy comment from the Romney campaign. Yes.
What is it?
W's finally come out of hiding.
Has it?
W.
Yes.
George.
Is it safe to come out now? Can I say something?
I've been raining some
yes,
cattle over
he-
here.
He's the last one.
He put in his endorsement for Mitt Romney, and Mitt Romney, I believe, was a speech today. The speech was given today.
I missed this.
I did too.
Did not mention him by name, and in
Maybe
fact
mention him by
referred
name?
to him as Obama's predecessor
Wow.
5 times.
Well,
Why-
he doesn't
Why
want to
does-
associate
Why
himself
would he
with
do
W.
that?
Yeah.
Why would he do that?
Would you want to be endorsed by George W. Bush?
Probably not, but he is his party. Same
Does-
party.
yeah, but you
But
don't.
he wants.
Yeah.
He's trying to get away from those like that whole like he's trying to be the Reagan Republican. He's trying
Right.
to have that-
Yeah.
He's
Let's
comparing himself
evoke the
to Reagan.
memory of
So
Right.
he's trying to
Reagan.
forget those years.
Well,
He's
he
kinda
went. He
you
did
know.
go for the photo op with Bush Senior
No, of
and
course.
got his
Well,
former.
That's fine though,
formal
because Bush
endorsement.
Senior was fine. He was a great
Uh,
president in Romney's
Barbara
eyes. That's
supported
fine
it.
because that's
Barbara
And I forget
endorsed
what
it.
the-
He was
Yes.
the first one.
Yes.
I forget what the response was from the Romney campaign, but it was extremely pithy, and it wasn't
Yeah.
even from Romney. It was from one of his.
Now George W. Bush today
Uh,
made news in a press conference.
It's
He's
still called
released
Sieg
a
Heil.
book.
Yeah.
The name of his book, The Economy.
the economy.
What does he know about the economy?
The economy.
He ruined our economy. He made
Yes.
years.
And our economy.
Yes.
Dennis Kucinich announced his retirement from Congress as well.
Well, he got beaten in the primary, didn't he?
I believe he
So
did.
he was on his way out,
That-
regardless.
Oh, I wish I could.
What does
find
he
that.
care? He's got a hot
one little
life.
question I have that I
He's
want to.
another moderate, and
Yeah.
they don't like people that do the right thing.
Mhm.
Quick question I have before you're wrapping things up. What did you think of the cover of Newsweek that came out? with
That was
Obama?
too much. Oh, Obama? The one,
No, the one with
Oh,
Obama with the
you're-
rainbow halo.
The first
saying
gay
America's
president.
First gay president.
People need
I
to
thought it
grow
was.
up.
I thought it
I
was
thought that
fine.
was Clinton.
Hmm?
No, that was
No, he was the first black president.
Yes,
That's
he
right.
was the first
Yeah.
black
Wow,
president.
I'm getting my
Yeah,
gays and my
yeah.
blacks mixed
But
up.
Yes.
People need to grow up.
People
But not a lot of gay
but
blacks.
people are saying that was like Newsweek is not a conservative magazine in any way.
No.
It's not like that wasn't an attack on Obama. in
No,
any
not at
way.
all.
Well, you
But-
say that, but look at the week before, the cover was a 4-year-old.
No, that's Time.
That's Time.
That's
Oh, that
Time.
was-
but
and
they're
that's still
owned,
the
they're
cover
owned by
right
the
now.
same.
Are
Aren't they
they?
both Time Warner?
I believe they're Time Warner,
Time
yes.
Warner is. I think Newsweek is connected to Time. Aren't
So
they?
I thought they were competitors.
I
Are
think.
they
well,
really competitors?
if they
Well,
are,
Time
they're
Warner
really
is
trying to compete
Time
here, aren't
People
they?
Entertainment Weekly,
Is
And I
Newsweek
thought
from-
Newsweek was
is
part of the
Newsweek
Time
somebody
Warner.
else? Maybe Newsweek is one of the other.
I
Competitors.
think
I'd be
Newsweek
curious
is
to see if
separate.
maybe it was a News Corp.
But
I just think
Oh,
they need to grow up.
but everybody was making a big deal saying that it was an embarrassing cover. Like maybe that was a bad like choice on Newsweek to have that as
Mhm.
their tagline and their cover. And I noticed like some news channels were kind of even covering up the bottom part where it said America's first gay president or something like that. I mean, what were your thoughts on that? Do you think it was an attack on him?
No,
Not at all.
I
Or
thought
you
it was
think it was
childish.
just-
I think it was childish.
I don't think it was an attack or childish. I think it was
It
making
was
a.
rating.
It was making a statement.
It's a
Yeah.
rating. Just a
Yeah.
rating. It's a rating test.
Obama's the most gay-friendly president we've had. He's the first president in history to
that's
come out
true.
and
But it
affirm.
didn't say gay
That is
friendly.
true.
It basically says the first
Yeah.
gay president.
that's
Do you think
fine.
it
That's
was because people just started making a big stink about it, and I was like, "What's the big deal?"
Well, people are
Yeah.
taking it literally or something.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
that's what
know.
I'm saying. Like that's what they're
They need to
talking
grow
about.
up.
Washington Post.
Washington Post owns Newsweek.
They need to grow up.
But people were like making a big deal about it, saying, oh, did they make a mistake? Was this a misprint? Are they trying to be offensive to the
Wow,
president?
people are dumb.
It's like they were getting all like,
Yeah.
like they were
Grow
getting
Yeah.
all sensitive
They're
about
getting
it.
so
like,
anti-Semitic.
yeah.
Of all
Yeah.
the serious problems we have in this country, and we deal with these petty things, come on.
Like you
Yeah.
don't think Newsweek knew what they were doing?
Of
Like you
course.
think they made a typo?
It was
like,
a
oh, we
rating.
made a mistake.
It was a rating. They sold a lot of magazines.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
of
Just
course.
like the Times.
That's the Times. In fact, the Times had two
I wanted to
covers.
see a full spread of that woman giving milk to her
Giving
son.
milk to
You
her
do?
son.
Yeah,
The
odd,
West
isn't
Coast
it?
Time had a different cover. It was a 6-year-old instead of a 4-year-old.
Oh my.
Wow, really?
Well, you know,
It was a
on
girl instead of a guy.
on the left
Ooh.
coast. Oh, well, that's kind of
Oh.
hot.
Well,
Hey.
that's same sex, is it not? The
Yeah.
mother's the one.
I like
Ooh,
that.
hey,
I don't know what people
I
are
got-
complaining about. I've
Mother-
had the
mother
same
and-
sex with my husband for 54 years.
People need
That's-
to grow up.
Mother
All
and
the
daughter
problems
that-
we have.
People magazine did something too. What did they do?
No, I said of all
Oh.
the problems that we have,
Oh,
people need to
oh,
grow
oh,
up and
oh.
deal with the issues that we have.
Yes, yes.
I don't agree
what,
with people's
What do you
sexist
think
magazine.
of Chase Morgan, the bank, $2 billion? That should not have re-happened again. They were supposed to put laws, and they said the Congress said, "Well, no, let's not regulate them." Why not? Because you got your pockets, your hands in their pockets, and we need to regulate them. When it comes to that point, it endangers our economic in this country.
Mhm.
If this happens, what happened 2-3 years ago again, we're in trouble.
Yes. I agree.
And there's proof. They claim it was never going to happen again, and look, there's proof it can happen again.
Because people are greedy.
Yes.
Greed. They don't
It's
learn.
all greedy.
Well, we're coming up on 9 p.m. Anyone have anything else
Magic
before we wrap up?
The
Any
magic hour.
Are we going to have the 9 p.m. news?
No,
the 9
just
p.m. news? I was
let-
hoping Steve Valancourt maybe would Skype with us and
Just want to let our viewers know, if you tune into IPM Nation tonight, 11 p.m., go into the Amsterdam channel. The four of us will actually be attending live taping of Amsterdam tonight to promote the New Horizons Walk Against Hunger, which will be on May 20th.
Walk against hunger or walk for hunger?
Walk for Hunger is
For
the
Hunger.
Boston edition.
Yeah.
Walk Against
Oh.
Hunger is the New Horizons.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I
Will
was- I've
you
been wanting to
announce,
walk for
Chris,
hunger.
that tomorrow from 4 to 5, Charlie Sherman will show that he did with me last Thursday will repeat. It's all about this.
oh,
I think you just did.
You just
Right,
announced
just
it, Glenn.
did.
Wow, but Chris, will
On-
you announce what Glenn just said?
On
tomorrow?
their show. I
Yes.
won't be there.
Right,
so-
right.
Oh, you're not going to be
So
on Amsterdam.
join the
tonight.
three of us.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
No.
Okay. By the way, you can also get the audio podcast of that show with Charlie Sherman if you go to
Yes.
ipmnation.com/Willette.
Yes.
Go to the Thursday edition and the podcast. What was the date last week of your was it the 10th, right? Yeah, the 10th.
10th, yeah.
So look for the May 10th edition of Willette at Large Gone Global, and you will see the podcast of that show that Glenn was talking about if you want to put it on your
Plus,
iPod.
starting next week, QC News will take a copy from Channel 22. They're going to make me a copy as we do it live, and
Mhm.
we'll be putting it on our own channel.
Oh, very good.
It's time to combine the two Willette at Large together. I've already changed it. The new show on
Let it
Channel
large, gone local,
23
gone global.
is no longer called local. It's called QC News Media Willette at Large Gone Global.
Wow, that's a long title.
Well, it is, but
That's long.
there was a reason why that was done. I was sick for 2 weeks because
Yeah.
I had to take radiation, and I had another producer take over the show.
Ginger Farrer,
Yes,
Mhm.
and the rules
who
are
loves me.
she had nothing to do with
She
this.
does.
The rules are that it's still your show.
I've heard
They
the
just
law.
said they had to have a new
Mm.
host until I come back.
Yeah.
Someone at the station changed it to the Ferrera at Large show,
Oh, that's nice.
and that was totally wrong. And so, you
Yeah.
know what? I'm going to rechange the show. And they said you can't do that, but I can do that. It's my show.
hmm
Yeah.
So I've renamed it.
Good.
Do you think,
I
Glenn?
guess you could call me Steve Valancourt then, but no, I'm not.
Do you think it was a coup?
I think it was.
I
think
don't
they're trying
know.
to get
I
rid of
don't really care.
I
That's
think it
small
is.
potatoes.
I think they're all upset
Yes.
about you, and they want to get rid of you there because they knew you went global.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
what it
well.
is. Yeah.
That's
They
their
don't want that
problem.
And you
competition.
tend to produce better material when you're on the QCE news portion the Friday night than on
yeah.
Thursday.
Well, there's a
because you
reason
don't
for
have
that.
The restrictions.
Your
We're not,
co-hosts.
yes, we're
Oh.
not censored. You, know,
Yeah.
you can't have bands on Channel 23, large bands. You can't have dance groups. You can't have cooking. You can't
I
have
was gonna say
musicians.
something
You
kinda
can't have
dickish
that
there.
stuff.
It actually turned out kind of sincere.
Yeah.
There you go.
That rarely happens for me.
You also you
What's
can't.
that?
You've had
That,
cooking
that
on
actually
Friday
came
night
out
show.
pretty sincere.
Wow.
It was going to be kind of like a dickhead thing for me to say. Like, I was going to make a joke there, but actually,
In fact,
it
you
ended
know
up
what we
being
do
sincere.
now when we do a cooking show here at the studio? We tape it, and we give it to. If they don't air it, I will air it as part of my show.
Yes.
And the bands that we have, like we're having by the way, Celsius this Friday.
Celsius.
So stay tuned at 8 p.m. for Little Large Global
Excelsior.
at IPNNation.com or QCEnews.com. And we take that half hour of the band, and I put it in one of my other shows, and they hate that
Yes.
because
yes.
it's a QCE News special presentation on Channel 23.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Do you know why it is we can't have midgets at
Why is
Channel
that?
23? No, I'm asking if you know
I have
why.
no
There's a
idea.
rule against having small
Yeah,
people.
apparently
little
we
people.
can't have midgets.
You can't have kids. There's something else. It's an educational station. You can't have kids in there.
I was also told no midgets, no gnomes, dwarves.
For 6 years, we used to do with a junior high Catholic school. We used to have them every year. They would do Easter
Midgets?
and Christmas
Yeah.
shows, and they do 4 shows a year. We teach them how to run the cameras, the control room. We actually taught them what they should be teaching them at the cost that we're paying them through our taxes, and we did it for nothing. And we get a certificate because they knew how to do it. And when MCAN closed, we came back to the regular station. We can't have kids in there.
Well, if I want to do a production of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, I
wouldn't
can't
want
do
kids
that
near
on
Steve
Channel
Allen.
You can only do it. Oh no,
No.
you can't. They don't allow stuff like that. Art. That's too much art.
Right, and too many dwarves.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I can't have it with
You
midgets,
can't have
right?
more than 10
What?
people in the studio at one time, or they're gonna frown
I am
against
so
it.
confused.
Well, that's
by
7
TV
dwarves and
23.
a chick. That's only 8 people. That's
You might be
fine.
able to sneak in a dwarf.
A dwarf.
Yeah.
So Snow White
One on
and
top of
the
each other.
one dwarf.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Hey, here's some news. By September, QC News will have a new channel, and it will be a 24-hour
Dwarf channel?
religious channel
Oh,
of over 100 religious programs.
wow.
Well, I'm excited. I'm very religious,
We're
as you
doing
know.
exactly what MCAM used to do. We had asked the city for a separate channel, which we qualified, and Comcast would have given it to us, except the alderman said no. So when we went back to Channel 23, the new Channel 23, they censored all these religious programs and said, you can preach your God, but you can't preach your God. That's not censorship. What the heck is?
That's right.
So
much-
my aim, the reason why I started QCE News is to do exactly what we're not allowed to
Just sitting
do
here going,
according to our Constitution.
Woohoo, nudity.
All right, it's time to close.
We're gonna have nudity.
Well, we should.
How about an all-nude church? When
And-
you play that on your TV?
We'll let it large gone global after dark.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
Not this. That will never happen. Not this Friday, but next Friday. Matt Connarton
Challenge
on Let It
accepted.
Lodge will be doing a segment on hypnotizing someone who wants to stop smoking.
Really?
Someone
Yes.
who just had
Fascinating stuff.
a lung collapse because of his smoking.
Yes.
For a young person.
Okay.
So
I thought he was
can't-
pushing me again.
no, we
No.
can't. No, you
Until
have
I'm
to,
ready to.
You're not
quit.
ready, and we're ready to have to submit now because people are asking for it. So we found someone that's willing, and so we're gonna do it a week from this Friday.
Yes.
And on this Sunday, I will be getting footage of our walk as well. So I'm going to prepare something
Good.
for
Good.
next week's We'll Let It Large Gone Global.
And we're gonna take all 3 cameras that we have, RJ's, mine's, and yours, put them all together, and create a whole
Yep.
show and put.
And you guys are going to be on the. You guys will be watching the walkers.
I'm gonna have the camera that's still at the park. See you go and come back. And RJ and you guys are gonna walk with your camera, so you can take whatever you want, and we'll put it all together.
Awesome.
Very good.
Oh, so we can go up to the homeless people and say, "We're doing this for you.
We're doing this for
We're
you.
doing
Want
this
a
for
sandwich?
you.
Haha, it's
You
for
wanna-
me.
Why'd you talk to us while we're walking?"
That's
what you
right.
gotta do. So you got to get some footage.
All right.
All right, we got to
It is
wrap.
getting Very warm.
You're
in
gonna
here,
rap.
So let's
you're
wrap
gonna,
it
you
up.
gonna rap song?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, boys.
It's unleashed, bitches.
So thanks everybody, Chris, Dan, from Verbal Ejaculation Sunday nights at 9:30 p.m. on QCE News and of course IPMNation.com. And Glenn, of course, Chris and I will be back with Glenn Friday night on We'll Let It Large Gone Global, 8 p.m. Eastern
Join
time.
us that time
And
too.
we have a
And you
great
should join
show.
us for that
this
too.
week.
We have a great show
me
this
on that
week.
show.
Why not?
Maybe he won't allow me.
I'm sure Glenn
I'm
would
too-
rather
I'm
have
too
you
busy.
than
We should
Michael.
make the announcement that this week, because we are using so much of our studio, there will be no room for audiences. They have to be out in the hallway.
Oh.
So in other words, you don't want Lionel in
I
here.
didn't say that. I'm saying there will be no room. We have a big band.
Don't
You
put
have
words in his
Celsius
mouth.
here on Friday,
Don't put
right?
words in my mouth.
He doesn't want an audience, Lionel. I mean, an audience.
There's no room for an audience. They'll have to be out in the hallway.
Yes, yes. All right.
We have small quarters, you know.
Yes. Don't talk about my small quarters. I can't help it that I'm Irish.
You
All right.
both
It's
blue?
average quarters.
Yes, yes. All right. That's going to do it. We'll be back, at least the three of us, I guess, will be back tonight, 11 p.m. on Mansterdam here on IPMNation.com. And thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight. Thanks, everybody, for
Thanks for
watching.
having us.
Now
He
we
hasn't
gotta
had me yet.
stall a couple extra seconds while Glenn
Oh,
goes
gotta
and
go
shuts
shut
us
things
off.
off because this is a high quality production.
Yes, yes.
What? What did he do? Oh, what's going on?
Glenn's yelling at a retarded person in the other room.
Little Jimmy in there ruined the show.